All right, guys, I'm shooting a quick one-off video, just private video for you guys. We were talking about how to set up your training programming. So I'm just here, it's late at night. I've got the house empty except Steven's asleep back there on the couch, and the cat is obviously running around making noise, and the dog is playing with some kind of toy. So it's going to be an interesting video, I'm sure. I'm gonna bring you around here and set you up next to my pen and paper and notebook. So this will probably be the last you see of me, but I wanna give you an idea on how I structure training for myself when I'm serious, and then how I structure a lot of my training for athletes. And this should give you a little bit better idea on how you can structure your training as well. Let me move the camera around. All right, of course, my pen has already died, but this is basically, if you're looking at any day of training in the gym, I want you to have a general idea on how you can set things up to be the most successful. So basically what we have here is that the day that you're in the gym, you have your core lift. This is kind of the point. So maybe this is squats, box squats, deadlift, bench press, log press. You know, it could be Atlas stone, super yoke. It could be anything. This is your main thing for the day. Okay, now what you're going to have above here and what you're going to have below here is going to be really, really important. So what's going to be above here is going to be getting you ready for this core lift, and what we're going to have below here is going to be what builds this core lift. So let's start with this. So we have like tissue prep. Okay, and this is anything from foam rolling, the Theragun, could be the ex-wife. This is anything like if you have anything that's sore or constantly screwed up, you want to do something to get the area that's about to be trained a little more loose or a little more prepared. And just, you know, if nothing's bothering you, and I've seen you guys in the gym, you guys do, you know, a lot of stuff, foam rolling and mobility work and stuff like that. You're probably getting something in, but it needs to be something that is either a total body, general type thing, or something that's going to prepare you for that core lift. After the tissue prep, we generally have some kind of warm-up. This could be back extensions, reverse hypers, rows. I've seen you guys on the belt squat machine. This could be any kind of shoulder press machine. You guys have a great shoulder press machine there. It's just moving. Tissue prep is normally like, you know, spend a solid 5 minutes, make yourself, you know, live longer, you know, extend your career with the tissue prep. With the warm up, you're basically looking at 1 to 2 exercises, usually 3 sets of 5 to 10 reps. Make sure it's going to work. You know, for someone like me with back issues, I did 4 sets of 6 on the reverse hypers with whatever was on there. A couple of plates, something like that. Not hard work, it's just movement. I will do back extensions because I know the right side of my back doesn't want to fire like the left side does. So I will spend some time making sure that I do that even with one leg to make sure that the right side of my back will work. So there's some assessment and there's some meaning to your warm-ups. Okay, for upper body, you know, the shoulder presses, a machine bench press, laterals, rotator cuff work, tricep push downs, get the body a little bit warm. And then after that, you have a dynamic warm up. Now for me, for lower body, what I tend to do, what works best for me is some kind of box jump. And I will set up, like I've got a 16-inch box that I squat onto. So I will set that up in the gym. I'll take a couple of 25 kilo bumper plates, 2 or 3 of them, and I will just jump from the floor to on top of them. Now the height doesn't matter. What matters is that your body gets off the ground and that you land softly. This is not a plyometric jumping type of thing. This is just you being able to explode and land, 3 sets of 5. It's not hard. But if you experience any kind of pain, ankle, knee, back, then you need to go back to the tissue prep and the warm up to make sure you're ready, because if you're having any kind of pain or something isn't functioning right here, you're not ready for the core lift. For upper body, I love medicine balls. I did this for a couple of times while I was there, laying on the floor with a 20-pound medicine ball, and I will do medicine ball bench press, 3 sets of 20 or 30. Usually my first set is kind of slow and controlled. My last rep on every set is a full explosion and a throw. My second and third set, every rep is extremely explosive as possible, and then I throw the 20th or 30th rep about as hard as I can. But I want my elbows and shoulders to be able to really, really move and to be explosive, and I don't want to walk into the core lift without doing something to be explosive. But I don't want to be running and punching a bag or something like that, something that's going to beat up my joints in the process. But there are a lot of different things you can do for dynamic warm-up. Just anything that requires you to be reactive, to moving. You know, I know you guys have experience playing different sports. There's a lot of things that you could do there that's going to keep it fun. But just keep in mind the joints that are going to be used on the core lift, and you want to make sure that those are involved on the dynamic warm-up. Make sure it's not just a dynamic movement, but make sure that it's something that's going to get your body warm to be explosive. Now the core lift, this is important. This is where it comes down to you and your knowledge. For me, I know it's going to be box squats, and it's going to be done here in a dynamic effort manner. I know that I'm going to have somewhere around 50% on the bar with bands and or chains for anywhere between 5 and 15 sets of 2 reps. I know that's the most effective way for me to train my box squat. I know my bench press is either going to be probably going to be a very high volume, short rest period, lots of reps with bands or chains. And if I get rid of the bands or chains, I need even more volume with straight weight. Log press, I know that 5-3 sets of 5s and 3s and even 8s on strict press build my log press. Viking press, I know that sets of 10 to 20 build my Viking press. Farmer's walk, as I've gotten older, that has changed. I need to work more on distance and sets over weight. Same thing with yoke. I know that I need to work more on speed than I do on the weight on the yoke, because the heavier weight beats up my hips and my back. But this can be any event, but you have to know how you're going to train this going into it. There's no method that says you have to do the core lift a certain way. Maybe it's 5x5, maybe it's Chico, maybe it's Juggernaut, maybe it's West Side Conjugate, maybe it's Thor's program that you pay way too much for his 3-page ebook type thing. Maybe it's something awesome that you've got from starting Strongman, or maybe it's something cool that I've written for you. Whatever it is, that's your core lift, and this is where it goes. Okay. After the core lift, you've got accessories. You've got 3 to 5 exercises, and these have to build your core lift. Okay, now I see you guys doing like squats and then yoke and Atlas stones, and that's fine. For most power lifters, we would get to finish the core lift, let's say for box squats, and accessories, we go straight into maybe it's a speed deadlift, which you're looking at somewhere around 50 to 60% of straight weight, plus a set of bands for 8 to 10 singles with 15 seconds rest in between, focusing on technique and speed. So that's one lift. And then after that, we've got reverse hypers, glute ham raises, any kind of lat exercise, something like that. What kind of rep range? It depends. Almost all the time, it's somewhere around the 8 to 12 rep range. If you are finishing off your box squat with super yoke, for instance, you're doing super yoke after this. So if you've got yoke as your next event, your yoke, I mean, that's hips, that's hamstrings, that's low back, that's upper back, but it also fries a lot of the central nervous system. And I notice a lot of times if you guys do your squats and then finish off with a super yoke, you don't have anything left for stones, or vice versa. So keep that in mind. Always try to have that, if it's in your plan to do squats, yoke, and stones, go load a stone. Even if it's the lightest stone to the tallest platform, get that triple extension in there, or vice versa. Load the stones and then pick up the empty yoke for 2 or 3 speed sprints, just for the 50-foot distance that's in there. But if you do another event or two here, that can make up your accessories. But just make sure that not every single day is doing a couple of strongman events. Make sure you have some days where it's seated pulley rows and T-bar rows and face pulls, JM presses, tape presses, rolling dumbbell extensions. Make sure that you have the proper tricep work in there. The shoulder presses with the amazing machines that you guys have in there. If you're up here and you're doing a max 2-board press, finish off with triceps and then finish off with some that Swiss bar, football bar, flat log press, something else down here that's going to carry over also to your log press. But you generally have 3 to 5 different exercises of not crazy intensity that you can finish everything off with. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You finish off with abs. As a general rule, I have everyone do 100 reps of weighted abs. These don't have to be killer. In fact, I suggest that they are not killer. The 100 reps is normally a minimum, and it's just something that I know if someone's doing 100 reps of a pull down ab, even with the smallest band, if they're doing like 4 sets of 25, that the chances are their entire midsection is going to get worked by the time they get to rep 100. It's not a screaming, I'm killing myself type of thing, but the chances are if you have 100 reps in your training session, you're probably at some point going to cover all of your abs. And even if you do 4 different exercises, 25 reps, even if you like planks, it doesn't matter. Just spend some time making sure. And if you're training 6 days a week and you're doing something for abs every day, change it up every single day and do something different. So your abs are getting hit from absolutely all directions. There's abs, and then you've got a recovery. And this could be at the end of training or when you get home, whether it's ice baths, the reverse hypers, back extensions, rotators, shoulder dislocations. Do something to make your training life longer. Something that's going to make you to where you can come back in and do all this stuff for many, many years to come. Just spend a few extra minutes at the end of every day doing something to make you a better athlete, a healthier athlete, and something to extend your career. So, guys, I hope this gives you a rough idea. Left a ton open through this area, but to be honest, you guys know enough about training and you have enough things on hand that you should be able to fill in everything on your own, and you should be able to have a whole lot of fun in the process. So if you have questions, let me know. We can fill in some things here, but start figuring out how to train your core lift and what kind of accessories build that core lift. Have a good one, guys.